See, you should be open to many possibilities also. You know,
See, I don't mind people refuting what I say. What I have an issue with is do it with evidence. Bring me an evidence. If you don't have any evidence, you can't reject what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Simple.
The question comes is like, are you creating fitna for this, or creating doubts in the minds of people who don't even have the comprehension level to that extent?
Well, it's not my part to do their homework.
Yeah.
If they haven't done their homework, I'm not going to sit and tell them all the basics and take them from ground zero. If you haven't caught the lift or if you haven't taken the stairs to the 3rd floor, I cannot come down from the 6th floor to the ground floor and bring you up.
Yeah.
That's not my job. That's the job of your father. That's the job of your scholars. That's the job of your teachers. I am not supposed to be spoon-feeding you certain information. If you don't even know anything about the historical record of the prophets, ask people, what is the meaning of this sentence when the Jews say to Maryam, Isa, O sister of Harun, your father was not of a bad character. Your mother was not of a bad character. She didn't have a brother. So why do they call her sister of Harun? What is the meaning of that? Is that the same Harun which was the brother of Musa alayhi salam? Because they had a sister named Maryam as well. So is that Maryam the same Maryam as that? And most of the people think yes. That Maryam is the same Maryam. However, the difference between the two Maryams is 2,000 years. 1,700 years. There you go.
That's where, so we need our guys like Yani to take some kind of course for these things to understand, because this is something like extra where we need to really learn. It's like a skill where you connect the dots, like you say always. You're connecting it from
You're
a long
connecting the
time.
dots. See, my part is not to tell people about Islam. My job is not to tell people about what to correct, what not to correct. This is you, your grave, your parents, your scholars, your teachers. My part is not that. My part is to make you understand something which you need clarification for. Remember that dice thing which Sheikh Qasim said, if you throw dice, it's haram. You asked me the same question. There was another guy who asked me the same question, and then it was Jannat who asked me the same question. So all three of you are asking at the same time, and I'm recording voice note for one, and I'm sending the other voice note to the other one.
Okay.
So that's what I do. I give you clarification. Then it's up to you, whatever you want to do with it. I'm not going to correct your beliefs. That's not my job.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Simple.
So let me get into one of the questions I think everybody will have in their mind when they want to study about Jesus. So we have double role thing in our scripture or whatever the books we read or came across the topic of Prophet Jesus. Do you have any proper clear information? You have connected dots on this, and I think you have history behind it also discovered, to share on that. What was your research on this?
See, where it comes to the question where, or the thing where Muslims believe that Jesus was replaced by another person, I don't understand where are people getting this from. It's not in the Quran. It's not in the Hadith. It's where are you getting that from? Where did you get it from? Where did you listen that from? That he was replaced by another person looking like him.
This is when we were learning and we were given the idea that, okay, at the end it was not him. He was taken up.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So this was the explanation every time we got. It was kind of vague for me. So it's not like we don't have to worry so much about the details. So we are just like, okay, this is what you should know. Not more than this. This is where we are stopped to discuss more about it.
Okay. About 100 years ago, there was a sect which was formed out of Muslims in South Asia, which was called Qadiani group. Okay, and this group used to believe that Jesus was put on the cross. He didn't die on the cross. He was brought down. And then when he was put in the grave, he just woke up. He was not dead.
Mm.
He woke up and he left to Kashmir. I'm not telling you the truth. That's what they believe. So when Ahmadi died, Allah yarhamah, he was reading because he finished 6 classes and his father had passed away. He was working in his uncle's shop. I don't know if you remember the story. And he used to read books upon books and books. So he came across a book called Izhar al-Haq, right? From where he learned how to reply to the Christians or non-Muslims, right? So one of the things he actually learned from there was that Jesus was put on the cross and he was brought down. And then because he didn't die, he woke up from the grave and he left. The same thing. Okay. Izhar al-Haq mentions that. Okay. So he picked up that story. So he formed that book, which was called Crucifixion, Fiction, X-I-O-N, or Fiction, C-T-I-O-N. And then Zakir Naik took the same thing from him and continued with that. Nobody got to the actual story.
Okay.
And our ulama as well, we don't have those stories, what exactly happened. So you have to go back to the books and historical records. And the closest to the time is the Gospels, written by Matthew, Mark, Luke. That is canonical Gospels. And then you have the non-canonical Gospel, which is Gospel of John. What exactly happened? You see, you have to go back in time and you have to understand what exactly was the story of Isa alayhi salam. He was a prophet since birth, right?
Yeah.
Jibreel used to talk to him, but a person becomes a prophet only when Jibreel talks to him and tells him, right? So Jibreel must have spoken to him. But then for 30 years, he was missing. He was in Egypt. And then at the age of 30, he comes back to Jerusalem and he starts preaching. Now, those 30 years, Jibreel is with him in all these years. So remember when the Quran says that Jibreel used to tell him to make birds out of clay and then clap, and the birds used to fly. Allah used to give them life. So this is something where you understand that, Jibreel was with him till that time. And then when he was led into temptation and everything, if you read the whole biblical account. So everything in that is not against Islam anyway. So, but if you see the Quran and you see the Bible, Jibreel alayhi salam, or Angel Gabriel, is with Jesus from the beginning till the time where every prophet was given a dua. Ask for a dua. What do you want? Sulaiman alayhi salam was told and he said, I want to be the king which no one has ever been before me, no one has been after me. When the Prophet Muhammad was given the same option, what did he say? I will save it for the day of judgment, when there will be nobody to take my ummah out of fire. When Isa alayhi salam was asked, what did he say? What did he say? You tell me.
I think this is connected to his death.
Yes. So this is where he said that I want to be from the ummah of Muhammad because they'll be forgiven. They won't enter hellfire. So he was basically avoiding his qawm. He didn't want to be a prophet of the Jews because he was fed up. If you read the Bible, he says, you generation of vipers, you whitened sepulchres, you faithless and perverse generation, you fools. Jesus, according to the Bible, kept insulting the elders of Jews, that they are munafiqs, hypocrites. And that's what Musa alayhi salam said as well about their qawm, that Yahud, the Jews, are exactly that. So Allah promised him that he will take him up and bring him in the time of Muhammad like after him.
This is recorded anywhere, or
what?
That he will take it up. And
this is in the Quran.
Yeah,
it's in the Quran. It's in the Hadith that this was his dua.
Yeah.
And he was taken up and then he will be brought back. But here is where it is. So when a person gives up nubuwwah, when nubuwwah is taken away from him and he doesn't want to be responsible for the Jews, because that's what he prayed, remember?
Yeah.
The Hadith in Bukhari mentions it very clearly. So what happens to Jibreel? He can't be with a person who's not a prophet anymore. So Jibreel, who's been with him from his birth till that time, that dua, would have left. Right? Now, but before he leaves, he knows that something is going to happen. He's going to be taken away, but how? That's where he gets a notification. From where? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure about it. That something is going to happen about the cross thing, because he knows that Jews have turned against him. Something is going to go wrong. Okay? He knows that very well. So this is where we read in the Bible that, he was having the Last Supper and Judas is there, and Jesus tells him that, okay, go do whatever you need to do. He takes rishwa, bribe, from the Roman soldiers or the Jews, and he goes to the soldiers and says, the person I kiss, arrest him. That's Jesus. Roman soldiers were not aware of what's going on. That's why, according to the Bible, if you read the Bible, it says that Judas had to kiss Jesus to know that this is Jesus. Okay. Roman soldiers wouldn't know. They wouldn't care. Why would they care about a random person in the streets?
Yeah.
Right. So he comes here, and Jesus is arrested and taken to the prison. Okay, the first night. Now, this is where we have the Islamic story that, Judas kissed Jesus and Jesus was taken up and Judas was transformed into Jesus and they arrested him and they put him on the cross and all of that. Where did people get that from? I have no idea. Okay, because it says in the Bible later on that Judas was so ashamed of himself that he threw the 30 pieces of silver in the temple and he threw himself from the mountain. Right. So now Jesus is arrested and he's taken to the prison. The next day, they have another person in the prison. His name is Barabbas. So if you Google Barabbas, what is his full name? Barabbas. It's not a name, it's a title. Bar means son and Abbas means father. Okay? Now, what's his first name? His first name is Jesus.
How come two people have similar name? Jesus?
It's a common name.
Or is it because for us it's like Isa we are saying?
Isa, look, the name of Isa alayhi salam according to us is Isa. But what is his actual name? Isha.
Okay.
What was his language? What was the language of Jesus?
Aramaic.
Aramaic was his language at home. But what was the official language?
Hebrew?
Greek.
Okay.
Nobody knew Hebrew at that time. This was the problem. Only the scholars knew Hebrew because they could read the scriptures. Okay. Scriptures were in Hebrew. People spoke at home Aramaic and with the government Greek. They did not speak Hebrew. So that's why the scholars used to say we are a big thing. That we speak the language of the scriptures. What do you know? So this is where Jesus used to insult them.
Okay.
That you are introducing lies. You know the language and you're teaching people nonsense. Right? So the actual name of Isa alayhi salam at birth, Aramaic, was Isha. So we say it Isa. Because Aramaic and Hebrew uses sh, sh. We use s in Arabic. Okay? And that name in Hebrew becomes Yeshua. In Greek, it becomes Isus. So I becomes J in English from Latin. So it becomes Jesus. So Isha was a common name.
Okay.
So Isha Barabbas. Barabbas is an Aramaic word. Barabbas, son of the father. Okay. So his name is Isha Barabbas, son of the father. So if you remember, Jesus used to call God as his father in the Bible. And then he used to say, don't call, and he used to tell everyone, your father and my father. Remember?
Yeah.
Your father and my father. Don't call anyone in this earth your father. So why are you calling priest father? Christians need to answer that. So that's on the side.
Yeah, something on the side.
Well, see,
another topic.
Yeah, that's another topic.
Yeah,
right, we'll go to that some other day. So so Jesus is calling himself Son of Man as well, Son of the Father, Son of the Man. Now here is where you will start getting a bit confused. So I will try and keep it as clear as possible. So you have a Jesus who's the Messiah.
Okay.
In Hebrew, Moshiach. Okay? So you have Jesus, you have Yeshua Moshiach, and you have Yeshua, Son of the Father. Which one is which one? One who's arrested, he's calling himself Messiah. The other one is Son of the Father. Now, what is his charge? If you read the Bible or you ask the Christian scholars, what exactly is his fault?
Okay.
What is his crime? Why was he arrested? Why was he in prison? Why was he taken to Pontius Pilate? Now, if you look at it as a thief, there are hundreds and thousands of thieves in Roman Empire. Roman Empire is huge. You will have one thief in every area. So do you think all of them are gathered and taken to Pontius Pilate, the emperor of Romans? Impossible. For a small charge, why would you take him to the emperor? You have district judges. Right? Only if it's a serious charge, this is where you take him to Pontius Pilate. Right. So now, this Jesus is saying, I'm the Moshiach, I'm the Messiah, which is our Isa alayhi salam. Now, when you say Messiah, in Greek, it means you're claiming to be a king. That is why the Romans arrested him, that he's claiming to be a king.
I see.
Okay?
Okay.
Now, the other guy was in fact claiming to be a king.
What a coincidence.
Yeah. Because, well, he's saying, I'm the king of the Jews, I'm the king of the Jews, I'm the king of the Jews. And this Jesus is saying, I'm the Messiah of the Jews, which is the king of the Jews.
Yeah.
So now if you read the Bible, they bring Barabbas to the trial, and they bring Jesus, Isa alayhi salam, to the trial. So they ask in Luke 23, they ask Jesus, are you the king of the Jews? He said, you say so. Meaning I'm not. Clear. Because he said, even if you ignore that, or if you don't understand that, look at where Jesus said, my kingdom is not of this world. Jesus said it, right? He said, my kingdom is not of this world. That means he's denying to be the king of the Jews of this world. Right? When they asked the other one, are you the king of the Jews? And he said, yes, I am. Right. The trial is over. No verdict. Yet. So the dream, the Pontius Pilate is the emperor, and his wife has a dream, according to the Bible, that this man who's claiming to be the Messiah is not guilty of anything. Let him go. Okay? Now, what happens the next day? Is the Passover?
Why? Just like that?
She just has a random dream.
Okay.
And it's recorded in the Bible. Now, if it's recorded in the Bible, that means there is a connection. Why is it mentioned? If he was to be on the cross, so why does his wife have a dream? Why is it mentioned? There should be a reason, right?
Right.
So what happens? Now, Jesus and the other Jesus, there are two Jesus now, and Pontius Pilate is standing in front of the crowd, and he presents both of them. Okay? Now, the crowd is mainly Jewish because it's their festival. So one of the Jews has to go free. One of the
what festival is this?
Passover.
Passover.
And now one of the Jesuses has to be set free.
Why so?
Because it was a tradition to set free one of the prisoners.
One of them, yeah.
Okay. Now, when Pontius Pilate puts the question, which Jesus do you want set free? What did the crowd say? Let Jesus, son of the Father, go. Barabbas.
Why so?
Because he has no charge on him. Again, son of the Father is which Isa exactly? The thief or the other one? Sorry, the claiming to be the king of the Jews or not claiming to be the king of the Jews?
Claiming to be the king of.
If he's claiming to be the king of the Jews, Jews cannot ask him to be freed because that's a threat to the Pontius Pilate's government. Somebody claiming to be king of the Jews, will Pontius let him go? If here we have our king, somebody claims I'm the king of Bahrainis, what will the king do? Let him go.
Yalla, cut him down, man.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that Jesus can't go free. It's the other Jesus. Because that Jesus is saying the kingdom, you say that I'm the king of the Jews. I didn't say that. He's denying.